Fall and winter is upon us. Cold weather is quickly approaching, especially here in Chicago. Today we're going to be talking my top sweater picks for fall winter 2025. You can tell I'm already nice and cozy, so I'm in the spirit to have this discussion. And this sweater that I'm wearing is actually from one of the brands that we're going to be talking about, which is a more entry-level brand. And then we're going to go from that brand, more entry-level sweaters, material-wise, all the way up to the top luxury sweater picks that I have on this list. And at the end, my grail sweater that I know one day I will have. It's a little bit outside of my budget right now, I will be honest. But before we get to that, let's talk about our entry-level sweater picks. The first sweater on this pick, I actually own a couple of these. That is the Uniqlo Premium Lambswool sweater. Now with this sweater being entry-level, it does come in at just $49.90, basically $50, and it's a great entry-level sweater. It comes in a variety of colors. I have a couple different colors. I have a purple and a blue, a bluish green. Very nice colors. I've had them for a while. I have washed them, and you gotta hand wash these as with any sweater, but they're great quality for the price point. They have great color options, and they add a great piece of depth to your wardrobe, to your outfit. Now in terms of sweaters, these are more of a lightweight sweater. These aren't super heavy and chunky. Even this sweater is a little bit more heavy and chunky of a knit, but these, if you hold them up into the light, you're probably gonna be able to see through them. But they are fully fashion knitwear, which is a little bit of a higher level than a cut and sew in terms of knitwear. They're linked together instead of stitched. So for 50 bucks, you get a pretty good quality sweater and dive on in to knitwear. As I mentioned, I do already have a couple colors, and those are sort of pop colors, but if I was gonna get another color from this season, I would definitely pick up like a navy or a gray, a charcoal, something like that, something a little bit more basic to fit in with my wardrobe and to fit in with the direction that I'm taking my style in nowadays. All right, next up, another piece from Uniqlo. This is the Uniqlo knitted jacket. It's like a blazer style sweater, essentially. It's made of 88% wool, 12% nylon, so you have that fine lamb's wool mixed with that nylon for a little bit of added strength and durability. Nylon is a fiber that's used in a lot of tech wear, a lot of high-end technical fashion, outerwear, things like that, and it's a super durable fiber. And so when you blend it with that wool, you're adding durability to the piece in general. Now this is a super simple piece, simple tailored jacket silhouette made out of this fabric, and it has a couple patch pockets on the front, 2-button closure on the front, and that's it. There's not a ton to it, but all in all, I think it's a really cool looking piece. I actually was just at Uniqlo today to pick up a new shirt, and I felt this piece. I didn't end up grabbing it because I was not in the right mindset to spend $100 on a sweater today. I really love this brown color. I don't know what it is about me right now, but I'm really enjoying brown color items, and this brown color in this one, and I saw it in person, it looked very nice as well. The black and gray are a little bit more basic picks in my mind, but still solid options. Something really interesting about this sweater is it's kind of has a little bit of function built into it as well. So the fabric, the fabric is knitted thicker and thinner in different areas for more of a tailored and contoured jacket silhouette. So there's thicker knitted fabric that is used on the front body, and then lighter knitted fabric that is used for the sleeves and back to achieve a nice sleek form. That's really interesting. And something that Uniqlo specializes at is these little fine details in pieces to make them fit just even better and look even better. Next up, I would be remiss if I didn't add a turtleneck sweater into here. I actually really love turtlenecks, and the turtleneck that I'm choosing, we're sticking with Uniqlo, is the Cashmere turtleneck sweater from Uniqlo. So Uniqlo is also pretty well known for their cashmere. It's at a pretty good price point. It's $100 for the sweater. Again, you're not getting a super dense and a super heavy cashmere sweater. You're getting a little bit of a value cashmere sweater is what I would call it, but all in all, still a nice cashmere sweater. And me personally, I would go with the lamb's wool for the regular crew neck, and then the cashmere for this, because a turtleneck is just a little bit more elevated. You know, maybe you wear it under a jacket, or you just wear it by itself in a more elevated manner, while the lamb's wool sweaters are a little bit more of everyday sweaters in my mind. If I were picking one of these out right now, the colors that they have released fall winter 2025, I'm going with a light colorway. I'm going with this natural colorway. I think it's gonna look super sick with chinos, navy pants, all types of stuff. And it's gonna be a good light addition to your sweater collection, as opposed to some different pops of color and some darker colors in those lamb's wool sweaters. Real quick, before we dive into the next piece, if y'all are enjoying the video, please consider scrolling down, dropping a like, leaving a comment, subscribing to the channel. It would be extremely helpful. let's get back to the video. We're getting kind of old money vibes with this next sweater, and that is the Uniqlo Souffle yarn half zip sweater. Now, I love a quarter zip. I think a quarter zip is a super clean look, and when it's done right in the right fabrication, I think it can also look a little bit elevated as well, depending on what you wear under it and how you style it. Now, I'm sure there's better options in general out there on the market in terms of fabrication and material, because this sweater is made out of 67% poly, 25% acrylic, a little bit of wool. It's got some recycled poly, so it's not your super high-end piece, but it is going to be more durable based off of that high content of poly and acrylic in it. All in all, this with a nice pair of navy trousers in the like oat and beige kind of colorway, I think is super sick. Now, you could even go the off-white in this one as well, and I think that would look super clean as well. You put a button-down shirt on underneath it, you undo a couple buttons, you let that zip down a little bit, and you're just flying. I mean, it's a clean look all in all. Again, I think you could find a better piece, but at $59.90, $60, this is a pretty good value for a sweater like this. Next up on the list, again, another Uniqlo sweater, the Souffle yarn stand collar cardigan. Other sweaters, you wouldn't necessarily wear a shirt on underneath it, except for that half zip sweater, of course, but all the other ones, you kind of wouldn't layer a ton with. This sweater, it's going to be a nice layering piece. There's a good variety of ways that you can style this as opposed to the other sweaters that we've shown. Like, there's not a ton that I could do with this because it doesn't have the button front, but with this one you can style it in very interesting ways. And I think that stand collar also adds a little bit of elevated detailing to it as well and differentiates it a little bit from the other pieces. It's not necessarily like your standard cardigan. Again, you have that blend of acrylic and poly and nylon, so a lot of different fibers going on in here. So I'm sure there's a nicer version of this sweater out on the market somewhere, but this isn't that. But at only $60, I think it's a good value to add into your wardrobe if you're looking for more interesting layer pieces. And ultimately, if I was going to go with this sweater, this isn't the type of sweater that I personally would buy in a black or a charcoal. I would lean more towards the navy and the beige. I'd wear it a little bit more preppy, Oxford shirt underneath, and just keep it nice and casual with this sweater. I wouldn't be surprised if you end up seeing this one on the rack too. Next up, we're moving to another brand away from Uniqlo, but still a pretty entry-level brand, I think, and that is Quince. And first up, we got this Australian Merino wool half zip sweater. Another half zip sweater, I know, but I really love the quarter zip styling. I think they're just super kind of preppy. They're super versatile and flexible, which is something that I really look for when I'm adding pieces to my wardrobe. It's a little bit more elevated than Uniqlo, I will say, in terms of fabrication and price point. We're looking at $90 for this piece, and it is made from 100% Australian Merino wool. And again, they're playing to my instincts. The color that it's available in is this coffee bean brown at this moment, at least. I will say Quince has a lot of other really nice sweater options. If you want to check them out, I would definitely check them out and see what they got for yourself. But moving on, we're moving on to a sweater from Tybar that kind of resembles that Grail piece that I hinted at in the beginning of this video. This is the Merino Heritage Shawl Nutmeg cardigan. This is a piece, this reminds me of a piece from The Gentleman that I don't know the actor's name, but he wore it, and it was in this nice beige yellowish kind of colorway similar to this nutmeg, and I just thought it looked so clean. But Tybar has a couple of good sweater options, and they're at decent price points for what they are. Again, you're looking at 100% merino wool, and it comes in at $128. So this is a little bit more of an elevated knitwear piece, I would say, and it does look like it has a little bit of a thicker knit. They do have this available in a charcoal color as well, but these kinds of sweaters I just think look a lot better in these nice, more earthy colors, these lighter colorways. And that's why I'm leaning more towards this nutmeg color. So again, don't be surprised if you end up seeing this on the rack. Next up, we're moving on to another brand, and that is Spier Mackay. And we got the light blue sleeveless cable cardigan. Now, you don't have to go light blue if you don't want to. They have a good amount of colorways available in this, but I think that this would look very interesting, especially with a nice tie on under it. You can also wear a jacket over top of it if you would like, so it adds to that layering aspect. I was never a fan of a cable knit sweater until I bought this one, and the cable knit is such a classic texture to your wardrobe and to your outfit. Again, we have 100% merino wool. I think merino wool is just a great option for sweaters, especially if you're trying to achieve a value price point. And this comes in at only $108, so not bad at all. Super clean piece and something that I can definitely see myself rocking in the future. Still sticking with Spier Mackay, and I hope I'm saying that right. Next up, we have the dark gray long sleeve raglan polo. Now, I'd be remiss if I went through this entire video without adding a sweater polo of some sort. And it looks like it comes in at a good price point. point of $108. Again, you have that 100% merino wool, and I just think that a polo sweater is just a super cool looking piece. I mean, I could just see myself wearing this tucked in with some nice black trousers, this dark gray colorway I really love. This is a sweater that I could see wearing by itself and looking really nice in one of these more simple colors. Or you could go with a beige or a oatmeal or a off-white or something along those lines. Me personally, I'm gonna go with the dark gray. This one specifically is designed with raglan sleeves for a nice fit, has that simple 3-button front placket and then the ribbed collar, and I mean, super clean look and something different too. If you don't have one of these in your wardrobe, and I'm speaking to myself here, you probably should add it now. Again, speaking to myself, you know what, damn it, it's gonna be an expensive video. I'm gonna add this to the cart. Our last piece from Spier Mackay is this basket weave crew neck that I just think is beautiful. The basket weave texture on this is amazing. Again, it kind of reminds me of that cable knit, but on the entire sweater, and a little bit more of an elevated cable knit. Cable knits kind of reminds me of like a fisherman's sweater, so it's a more like casual worn sweater. This one looks like something that you would wear in a super elevated manner to me. It's made of 100% merino wool. Again, you have a little bit more of a expensive price point, so you can tell we're getting to the end of the list. This is coming in at $198. And if I'm going for something like this, I'm 100% going for an off-white, a lighter colorway. I want that texture of that sweater to be very prominent when I'm wearing it. I don't want to get a black or something and hide that texture. I want that texture to be front and center in the outfit that I wear this with. And in a lighter colorway, you're gonna see that. The light is gonna hit it super nice. You're gonna have these different shadows as you move and walk, and it's just gonna look super clean. All in all, this is a good pick for a nice elevated sweater option, and I don't know if my bank account can handle this right now. I need to stop recording this video. All right, second to last sweater on this list, and we're getting into that high price point. I'm telling you, the brand is Noah. We're moving away from Spier Mackay. The brand is Noah, and this is their striped Donegal sweater. I really love the multi-stripe colorway. Now, it is out of stock right now. It is sold out. There is a notify me when available button, and I am going to be clicking that and filling my information in. Give me just a second. This sweater, I mean, I love Donegal sweaters. This is a sweater I will say that probably wouldn't really fit in with my wardrobe all in all. This is a sweater that you'd probably wear a little bit more casually, not necessarily over a button-up shirt, but this is just a super sick knit piece. And I love a Donegal sweater. I love that little bit of texture. I have a pair of cable knit socks from Uniqlo that have that Donegal featuring, and you just see these little pops and specks of color in it. It just gives it a little bit of added dimension and depth. The base of the sweater is brown, so again, I think there is a theme going on here. I told you higher price point. The sweater does come in at $258. It is 100% pure merino wool, made in Portugal. You get the idea, right? This sweater is super sick. It's striped, so it adds a little bit more of color and playfulness than all of these other sweaters, which are a little bit more mature in the ways that you would style them ultimately. But at that $258 price point, it is a little bit higher. I mean, you could buy probably all of the Uniqlo sweaters that we talked about in the beginning of this video for the price point of this sweater. All right, enough of the games. This is the final sweater. This is one of my grail pieces on my vision board, on the list of something that I want to own in the future, probably not near, but somewhere in the future, and that is the S.E.H Kelly Shawl cardigan in super fine lambswool. And I mean, that tie bar sweater that we talked about before, that shawl cardigan from Tie Bar, is very similar to this in terms of styling, but I can only imagine that this is just that sweater on a ridiculous amount of steroids. If you don't know S.E.H Kelly, they are a super fine menswear brand. They make some really beautiful and amazing pieces, but they are at a very high price point. Everything is handmade. Everything is super fine in terms of detailing, in terms of the yarns that they use, the fabrics, the materials, the trims. Everything is just next level, high level. They cut no corners when making their pieces. That shawl collar just looks super elegant. It has a little bit of that texture in the way that it's knitted as well, so you have a little bit of heathering going on. They're using horn buttons, so again, they're cutting no corners. And it is sold out now, but if I wanted to buy this sweater today, it does come in at a whopping 550 euros, aka for my US friends, which is probably most of you, $637. This is the final boss of sweaters, at least in terms of my sweater that I would like to own. Those are my 12 sweaters from lowest price point and entry level all the way up to the final boss at S.E.H Kelly Shawl Cardigan, which I'm going to be dreaming about. Now, I literally just sat here and I'm going to have to edit like 10 minutes out of this video because I just deep dove on that sweater, but I want it so bad. I can't even. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there are any sweaters that are missing from this list that you guys are really looking at, you have your eye on, that you really enjoy, or any knitwear brands in general, drop them down in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Anyways, that's all I got for y'all. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.